Okay. At this time, we'll open up for public comment. If there's anybody who wishes to comment on items 2 through 4, please step forward. Everyone will have 2 minutes. Please line up on this far side of the wall so we have a good idea of how many people here. We have department heads that are obviously trying to balance their own schedules as well, and we want to be respectful. Let's start the clock. Ms. Jackson?
Yes, Dr. Espinola Jackson again. Thank you for the 2 minutes. You know, I've been smelling, we in my community, Baby Hunters Point, because that's where the sewage plant is. In 1972, we voted, you know, for the expansion of that sewage plant. You don't get the smell that we get in Baby Hunters Point. We have Brisbane, Daly City, the Presidio, and then 80% of the city sewage coming to Baby Hunters Point. It don't go nowhere else. And who's smelling that? And when it's hot, you can't even open your windows. And I don't understand what your argument's about. The Capitol, I know about Capitol because that's the reason why we voted for the bond issue in order to get those pipes laid and get new digesters in that community. And we haven't received nothing. Nothing. And you all want to talk. Why don't you say, start putting in those digesters in Baby Hunters Point? They got 5 or 6, I don't know, is it 6 or 7? Oh, 10. Because the old was cracked. And the stuff is running down the streets, children. We are smelling it out there. You wouldn't even be able to eat like you're eating now because you don't have to smell. Will you do something and say start doing something for the people in Baby Hunters Point with the smell that's going on out there? That shouldn't happen. Don't know other parts. Willie Brown lied to the folks and said, if you support DNF, I'm going to get the PUC out of the sewage plant out of your community. And you know what I said to people? Willie Brown is lying. It's got to go somewhere. And guess what? It's still there in this point.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good afternoon, supervisors. I'm John Rizzo, speaking for the Sierra Club. I'm speaking on the item 2, the PUC budget. The Sierra Club supports both the GoSolarSF program strongly, as well as the Clean Power SF program. We don't support the rating of GoSolarSF taking all the funds and distributing elsewhere. That is something that the mayor should not be doing. The supervisors allocated those funds, and he should respect that. But we do support full funding of GoSolarSF. We can see every year we fight for funding for it, and the funding's been declining, and that you can see the number of solar installs dropping with that declining funding. We don't think it's an either-or situation. We think there are creative solutions, and I think that time is needed to investigate those creative solutions to keep Clean Power SF funded, but also to fully fund GoSolarSF. We actually talked about the idea of a tabling or continuing the item to get some more of this information, and we would support that. So that's where we are. We don't believe this should be pitted one good program after another, as Supervisor Breed said. Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Rizzo. Next speaker.
Hello, Eddie On with Brightline Defense Project, and obviously there's a longer conversation that needs to be had about the CCA reserves and the number of options ranging from rate increases to bond and capital improvements that need to be discussed before this board. We're here, though, to emphasize solar as a priority, meaning Brightline Defense Project, Labor's Local 261, Asian Neighborhood Design, solar installation companies like Luminalt, solar industry representatives are also here from Solar City, Sunrun, Sungevity. In fact, if there are a number of people queued up in a line to speak in favor of GoSolarSF today, but if you're also sitting here in support of solar, if you could please stand up for a moment. Thank you. And with that in mind, we are all here in strong support of this solar program, as we have been in countless of hearings, to reestablish from its previous funding cuts down to $2 million back to $5 million. It's been a long going, and we really do want to see this program fully funded because it's fundamentally good policy. And in fact, for the first time, that we now have preliminary findings to be presented by Rosalind Jackson of Vote Solar, a national nonprofit with the research expertise to look in the many benefits of GoSolarSF, ranging from solar installations, the greenhouse gas emission reductions achieved with solar installations, the jobs, whether direct and induced jobs, or the workforce development jobs that are also created because of this program. And finally, the idea of spurring a local economy through GoSolarSF, the emergence of a vibrant, clean economy with good jobs for local, low-income communities across the city. And we hope to see this program fully funded through this budget item. Thank you.
Mr. Ahn, can I just ask, I strongly support full funding of GoSolarSF, like John Rizzo just mentioned, but do you support rating of the CCA funds in order to achieve that?
At the end of the day, there needs to be a longer conversation about the adjustment of the CCA levels. What that adjustment is something that we'll leave to the board to discuss further.
Could you be more specific?
I'm not quite sure of the exact number myself that needs to be achieved to make that happen. I know there's also a separate discussion ongoing of studying the feasibility, for instance, of merging with another CCA program. Pending that discussion, I think that could also inform the levels needed in the CCA reserve itself.
Thank you very much. Next speaker.
Hi, I'm Rosalind Jackson with Vote Solar, and I've got all kinds of great impacts to talk about, and so I'm going to dive in because 2 minutes will go quickly. So, as has been discussed, the GoSolarSF program has delivered real benefits to our community. I'd like to share some of those points of success based on Vote Solar's analysis of SFPUC and OEWD program data. So as of April 2014, there are over 10 megawatts of solar in the queue or supported by GoSolarSF installations at more than 3,700 customer sites. Even more exciting than those total numbers is who is represented among the new San Francisco solar customers. An impressive 30% of all residential solar capacity was installed on low-income single or multifamily homes. This means that energy bill savings and other solar benefits are going to those San Franciscans who need them most. The solar program has also proven to be a strong economic engine for the city. GoSolarSF's 10 megawatts has driven $65 million in investment in our local San Francisco economy. We estimate that GoSolarSF installations have supported more than 400 local jobs and millions of dollars in solar wages that can be reinvested in our economy. Again, San Francisco has really worked to ensure that underserved residents have the opportunity to benefit from that growing solar economy. That's where the workforce development piece of GoSolarSF comes in. The program has resulted in 121 direct job placements for San Francisco residents who otherwise face barriers to such employment. Workers of color represented the largest population served by this workforce development program, with 40% Black and 22% Latino or Hispanic job placements. In terms of climate benefits, the program's 10 megawatts will reduce greenhouse gas pollution by more than 86,000 tons over 20 years, helping to meet the city's climate action goals. In summary, GoSolarSF has encouraged significant private investment in San Francisco's local solar market, which has delivered real job and environmental benefits. I just want to especially applaud the program's success in empowering low-income and underserved members of the community to participate in and benefit from the city's growing solar economy.
Thank you. Next speaker.
My name is Pam Kwan, and I am the product of the GoSolarSF program. Because of the program funded by GoSolarSF, I acquired skills and resources that led me to Luminalt today. Without the GoSolar program, I am not certain that I would have a career in solar today. I've been building solar systems for Luminalt for over a year and recently received a promotion. I am confident of many more successes in the future due to my career foundation. So when investing in programs like Asian Neighborhood Design, you invest in my success. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker. If there's anyone else that would like to speak, just please come forward.
Good afternoon, supervisors. My name is Melissa McDermott, and I work for Luminalt Solar. Last week at the commission meeting, I heard the term return on investment, and I thought that's something that I can understand working in the solar industry. Some people aren't interested in solar if there isn't a quick and significant financial return on investment. Others are willing to make a longer commitment for the greater good. What we value is a personal thing. The return on investment can be measured monetarily or by the impact a single decision has on the lives of others and in the community. And I'd like to help you realize your return on investing in me. Nearly 7 years ago to the day, the City and County of San Francisco kindly footed the bill for an all-inclusive stay at 850 Bryant. Flash forward to 4 years ago, I was on parole, living in drug treatment, residential drug treatment, using city funds for my day-to-day health care and survival. And the only yes I had heard in 3 years was from Asian Neighborhood Design telling me that I had been accepted into their program. I knew there was a catch, but I didn't care. I had an opportunity to do something or anything at that moment. Janine Cotter came to speak to the class. Immediately I knew Luminalt was where I belonged. To have the CEO of a company come and tell me and us as a group that we mattered was something that was very important to all of us. I worked hard and went through a rigorous hiring process, got into Luminalt, started as a junior solar analyst. Since full-time employment made possible by the GoSolarSF program, I've grown from being on parole and drug treatment to a home with my children, working in the city that I love. I'm proud to say that I have grown from an entry-level position as a junior solar analyst to manager of community engagement, and that's my story. And I finally figured out the catch. The catch is that it's my turn to give back. Someone stood here when I didn't know that I needed this, and now it's my turn to come and do the same for people following behind me.
Thank you for those great comments. Next speaker.
Good afternoon, supervisors. My name is Nancy Kaufman. I am a member of Asian Neighborhood Design's pre-apprenticeship program. I believe that this cause is very critical. The funding for the program, for energy programs such as Go Solar San Francisco is very critical. I come from a family of 8. I raised 8 children on my own, and this opportunity is not only for me, but for all San Franciscans. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next speaker. I'd like to ask if people can withhold their applause. It will help us move more smoothly forward. Next speaker.
Good afternoon, supervisors. My name is Todd Paul, and I'm a student from Asian Neighborhood Design. In my early teens, I started to experiment with drugs and alcohol. These experiments and behaviors turned into a lifestyle that led me to 20-plus years of drug abuse and incarceration. In 2012, I decided that it was time for a drastic change. I checked myself into treatment, and with the help I received from Walden House and the staff there, I have truly changed my life. I've abstained from drug use for over 20 months. I'm a registered voter and a role model in my community. With a new life comes a new career. I've always loved San Francisco, the different people, cultures, and landscapes. Like most Californians, it's obvious to me that our planet is in trouble. I feel that I need to do my part, and I'm fulfilling that need at Asian Neighborhood Design Green Construction Pre-Apprenticeship Program. My classmates and I are here today representing Asian Neighborhood Design because green jobs and the Go Solar program are important to each and every one of us. The opportunity to do something positive in our community and for our environment is a great one, and we all welcome it with open arms. I'm speaking for my classmates and myself today, but I'm also speaking for the future classes to come when I say that we are all grateful for this opportunity and the support that the city and the mayor have shown in funding the Green Construction to Go Solar program. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next speaker. Please withhold your applause. Next speaker.
Hi, I'm Carl Chapman. I'm also a student at Asian Neighborhood Design program, and I'm actually in the drug treatment program as well. And not only is Asian Neighborhood Design and GoSolarSF a good program for me, but it's also impacted my community, because when I go back to my community, people ask me, what am I doing with these overalls on? And they want to get involved in it. And also, my grandmother raised me, and she still works to this day. She's in her late 60s. My grandfather's in his early 70s. They still work and support me. And, it's my turn to give back to them, as well as give back to my family. And not only is it an impact on, like I said, my community, my family, but it's also an impact on the environment. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Good afternoon, supervisors. My name is Hillary Pearson, and I work at Sungevity, a national solar provider located in Oakland's Jack London Square. Sungevity has worked with the GoSolarSF program since the beginning, as we believe the program fits in line with our company vision of SFUN, Solar for Universal Need. In line with the program requirements, we partnered with local San Francisco companies who draw from green job training programs to complete our installations here in the city. This local solar industry helps support local jobs and wages that help support San Francisco's economy. GoSolarSF has been a great success story, as San Francisco has more than quadrupled its number of solar roofs under the program, and 37% of the residential capacity from the program has been installed on qualifying low-income, single-family, and multifamily homes. This has had a transformative impact for both the solar adopters and solar workers here in San Francisco. As San Francisco works to meet its 100% renewable energy goal, we believe that fully funding the Go Solar San Francisco program will help give the solar industry the certainty it needs to continue hiring crews, growing the local solar economy, and reducing harmful greenhouse gas emissions here in San Francisco. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Good afternoon, supervisors. My name is Andy Schwartz. I'm with Solar City. I'll keep my comments brief. As there are a number of other folks who've spoken, I think, more eloquently to the important role this program has played. Solar City is an energy services company located in San Mateo with a focus on rooftop solar. The company employs about 6,000 people nationally. 1,300 of those, or around 1,300 of those, are employed in the Bay Area. Solar City fully supports funding for GoSolarSF. This program has been a critical driver of customer demand in the area, and we believe a key program in supporting the city's environmental and economic objectives. The company has been involved in this program for some time. Just for a sense of the scale of our involvement, Solar City has about 400 projects in San Francisco, or about 1.3 megawatts of capacity that have been supported through GoSolarSF. Given the vital role of this program in supporting the market for solar in San Francisco and all the attendant benefits in terms of jobs and private investment, we encourage timely funding for this program. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Thank you, supervisors. My name is Walker Wright with Sunrun, located on 595 Market Street. Sunrun is a national solar company, and our roots are here in San Francisco. In the past, because of San Francisco's leadership in solar energy, Sunrun started out as an idea in the mission in someone's attic, and today we are San Francisco's largest clean tech employer with over 1,300 employees. Sunrun's first office was in the mission, and we're now in San Francisco. And at the same time, we always look back at the workforce development programs and low-income projections that GoSolarSF has done, and we think that these models should be exported to the rest of the state and the country. GoSolarSF is the beacon for the solar policy world, and we would like to keep it that way. We ask for your support. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Good afternoon to all. My name is Javier Flores. I'm a business agent with the Labor Local 261. We represent over 5,000 men and women across San Francisco, Marin, and San Mateo County. We have many members interested in our solar program, apprenticeship program. Could you please stand? So these are some of our members here. Thank you. Se pueden sentar, por favor. Thanks to Lumina, our members now getting jobs through Go Solar San Francisco. On behalf of Labor Local 261, we strongly support funding for the next couple of years for Go Solar and San Francisco Go Solar. Ask for your support too. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Flores. Next speaker.
Thank you, supervisors. My name is Janine Cotter, and I'd like to acknowledge my colleagues that are here today. Brian Ruiz, who's working on Fort Mason right now, Billy Hall, Pam Kwan, who you've met, and Melissa, who disclosed more than I ever thought anybody would about their personal life and the transformation that a job with stability and benefits can have on a family and on a community. This is an important program. Since 2008, we have had a coalition that has stood strong in favor of GoSolarSF, environmental justice, economic justice, the Reentry Council, members, environmentalists, people across a broad swath and spectrum of backgrounds are coming together to support a program that is actually having a huge impact in San Francisco. No place else in the world am I aware of environmental justice activists aligning with clean tech, aligning with solar installers and construction folks, aligning with the Sierra Club to really reach out and support folks to get them into jobs. I love what I do. I love the impact that I see. I love that I can work with a graduate of John O'Connell and see him stay here and live in the city that he loves and work with other people to teach them how to do solar on an iconic building like Fort Mason, which will benefit from GoSolarSF. So I thank you for your continued support. A program that has lasted since 2008 is increasing people's opportunities
Thank you
to have
so much, Ms.
long-term
Cotter.
employment.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Good afternoon, Supervisors. Eric Brooks, representing San Francisco Green Party and the local grassroots organization Our City, and to stand in strong solidarity with every single person in this room. Let's really flesh out what's going on here. First of all, the mountain tunnel retrofit problem. They sent professionals out to examine that tunnel a few years ago and should have discovered at that point that they were going to have a $500 million budget problem coming up, and they did not. So the first part of this problem is that this SFPUC abjectly dropped the ball on doing their job to know what their future needs were going to be. The other thing to remind people is that all three of these things, GoSolarSF, environmental or energy efficiency, and Clean Power SF, both GoSolarSF and energy efficiency have been repeatedly, way before the mountain tunnel problem was discovered, cut over and over again by the mayor's office and by his SFPUC. And of course, the mayor's office has also repeatedly done everything in its power to undermine the Clean Power SF program. So what this represents, this grab at the reserve represents, is the mayor's attempt to divide all these good people in this room against each other so that they're all fighting for the same dollars. It's a classic divide and conquer maneuver, and I'm here to tell you that we are not divided. We're all going to stand together in support of GoSolarSF, in support of the energy efficiency funds, and in support of Clean Power SF. And I strongly support Supervisor Avalos's call for us to table this budget, force the PG&E manipulated mayor and his manipulated SFPUC to the table so that we can identify the money for all of these programs so that they can all move forward together and so that we're not allowing a corrupt mayor to play us against each other.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Good afternoon, Supervisors. My name is Jackie Flynn. I'm the Executive Director of the A. Philip Randolph Institute, San Francisco. I'm also here in support of my colleagues for the Go Solar program. I really feel that it's not just a job placement program. As you can see, these brothers and sisters are all here as a direct result of the jobs that actually complement our workforce investments here in the city. As you also can see, our businesses thrive. Janine Cotter and the Luminol businesses done a huge effort to employ some of the folks that come out of these training programs that we all talk about training folks, but do they actually result in jobs? That answer is yes. Go Solar is an investment that I really think provides education and awareness around our environment. It's an investment that will change San Francisco and prepare us for a more cleaner, sustainable future. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to speak? And we're going to close comment after Mr. Bryant.
James Bryant, Western Region Director, A. Philip Randolph Institute. Ladies, gentlemen, I would really hope that you all would really consider the Go Solar program. Is really important. As you can see, it really meets a special need in the community where it has people of color who are participating in employment, some of those who have gone through problems such as law enforcement problems and stuff and have come back strong. Just look at this wonderful lady over here. And just looking at how Janine and her group has put together the Go Solar program, you can't turn your backs on them. You really can't. And I know you have to work out some other deals, but I ask that you consider not holding the whole PUC's budget hostage over some issues that you all have. So I don't know if I should have thrown that in there, but I did. And so I ask that all of you think, wisely and look at the effects that you have before you. And I know all of you are bright, and I know all of you will make the right decision. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Bryan. Any other comments from the public on items 2 through 4? Okay, seeing none, public comment is closed.